that what we're talking about right there?
Oh boy, here we go. Jeremy giving thanks for his strenuous workout routine. It is another Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth. Jeremy Booth, Jason Bristol, as we are getting closer and closer to, I don't know what. But we do know that the Toronto, what?
I know what. I know what. We're getting
Well,
closer to winter meetings.
Yes.
See, I have a purpose.
Yeah. Instant reaction time. Breaking news from John Heyman. Dylan Cease to the Blue Jays, $210 million over 7 years. And of course, Dylan Cease was a guy the Astros have checked in on repeatedly, reportedly. Jeremy, instant reaction to Dylan Cease, to the Blue Jays, the contract, and if the Astros ever stood a chance.
Contract's fair. That's the price of doing business, and I think it's reasonable in today's marketplace. $30 million is a lot of money, period, when it comes to what his what the gross salary is. That's not what he's going to take home, and even still, it's still excellent money. But that's the cost of doing business, and that's completely fair. For the Blue Jays to do it shows they're not messing around. They realized they were a pitch short, two pitch, whatever they were, and they're not going to let that happen again. They went and found another guy to pitch in the front of their rotation with the arsenal they've already got. For the Astros, they had zero chance, and I mean like there's zero, and then there's the Astros chances. Some are way below zero, right? Jim Crane, when you trade away Mauricio Dubon, and I'm only chuckling in relation to the $30 million that Cease got. When you trade away in Mauricio Dubon, you're saying we're not paying anybody, like literally anybody, and so. That's no shot.
You're saying that the Astros won't be paying for anybody based on the savings of $4 or $5 million for Mauricio Dubon?
I'm saying that they want to stay under the cap. They don't want to get anywhere close to it as far as like and I say cap, and it's the luxury tax threshold, but it's the cap. They want to stay under the salary cap, luxury tax. And if you're trading away Dubon to do that, you're not spending 30 on Dylan Cease. You're just not doing it. Dubon, by the way, agreed with like $6 million with Atlanta, like right away. You know what I mean? So it's just not something where they're going to turn around and spend that money on Dylan Cease if that's the way they're going.
MLB.com ranked Dylan Cease as the number 2 free agent starting pitcher behind Framber Valdez. So what would Framber now look at in your mind, or has it changed?
Well, it changes when the number 2 guy signs, because now you're like, I'm number 1 and I'm better than this guy, at least in eye of the beholder.
In theory, yeah, or the eye of the beholder, sure.
If people agree with that, and I'm sure some people do, because that's how you end up there as polls. And none of these writers, and I say that, gently because they have a great job to do, unless you're following the club, you're not, like a Brian McTaggart or a Chandler Rome or us or whoever. No media personality gets it right, because they don't know unless they ask other people. They don't see all the games. It's impossible. So, if 35, 38, 40 million a year, something like that. And if you're doing 7 and 40 and Valdez is what, 30? Is that right? 30?
Ish.
Yeah. So, I mean, 6 and 40 is $250 million. It's about right. 6 and 42, somewhere in there, and that's enough.
Framber's 32, by the way.
32. 32. Yeah. So 6 and 35, just because he's going to pitch the age 38 season. That does it.
Of course, Framber signed late. He is not your typical Latin American signee, because he signed, I believe, at the age of 21.
Yeah, I know the academy he came from. We actually, for our stuff, we see a lot of pictures from there. And the thing about Latin America, and I say this as much as we are involved there, is that there's a lot of guys that get passed over that are late bloomers, much like what happens in the States, and they're the ones that show up and have the longer careers. Usually that is pitching. Usually that's pitching. The position players have a tendency to, Ronald Acuna is an example of somebody who was passed over, signed a little later, 100 grand, 150 grand. But for the most part, the position players, they tend to sign by the time they're 16, for the most part.
And now, the remaining players in the top 10 of the best free agent starting pitchers. Do you think the Astros have a chance at any of these guys? Do you want me to list them?
Um,
Your camera just zoomed in on you. How
I
about
don't know
that?
what that's about. Did you do
That's pretty
that?
cool though.
Did you
That's there's like drama there. Dramatic.
did you do that? Was that you?
No, you
You
did
see,
that.
I didn't touch it. I was literally back here.
It must have some sort of tracking mechanism.
That's why. Okay, let me see if that helps.
Tyler Malley is number 10.
Um, hold on, Jason. I gotta adjust this. Where is this? Video settings. Okay.
I think we need to leave this in.
I mean, you can leave it in. I never seen this thing zoom before.
I know.
That
Zoom zoomed.
was way up top.
Number 10,
Video-
Tyler Malley. You're fine now.
all right. No, I'm fine now.
Ish.
Um,
Tyler Malley, number 10.
okay.
No.
No.
Justin Verlander, number 9.
Yes.
Chris Bassitt, number 8.
Yes.
Merrill Kelly, number 7.
Keep going.
Zach Gallen, number 6.
Keep going.
Michael King, number 5.
Okay.
Number 4. Tatsuya Imyai. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. Do you
All
know who
right.
I'm talking about?
Yeah. Keep going.
Was I close?
I mean, yeah, we're all close. I guess from how we say it. So yeah, you're right in there. Who
Rain-
else?
Ranger Suarez, number 3.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Number 2 is off the board, and then number 1, Framber Valdez.
So the reason why Verlander and Bassett are fits is because you can probably have them in shorter term deals. And the window here um, in Houston is not people are going to get upset and they look this is a testament to how they've been able to make trades and like Dana winning the deadline if they've even been this far. But the reality is that um, you know the young players that are here are going to be free agents in 2028 or after 28. And so you've got a 2 to 3 year window, 2 years really, to go ahead and try to get something done. And so you want to go be as loaded as you can on short-term deals and make that happen. So, the guys that'll do that, the 2 year deal, the 1 year deal with the option, that's what you want. Verlander will do that and so will Bassett.
All right, so to recap, you said number 10, Tyler Malley. Nope.
I mean, I'm not, it doesn't move me, but I'm not against it.
Justin Verlander, number 9. Chris
Yes.
Bassitt, number 8.
Yes.
Merrill Kelly, number 7. Zach Gallen, number 6.
Yes to Gallen.
Michael King, number 5.
I'm okay with King.
Tatsuya Imai, number 4.
Can't pronounce his name, can't sign him.
I got him now. I got it now.
Okay.
Ranger Suarez.
Yes.
Dylan Cease is a no. Framber Valdez is a no.
Adios to Fromber.
We had an interesting conversation earlier today, and without getting into the nuts and bolts of it, I think the overriding theme was what you told me today. You kept repeating it over and over and over. Uh-oh, dramatic zoom. It had to do with your baseball career.
I play with everybody.
You play with everybody. You played with everybody.
Yeah, literally everybody. It's amazing. I mean, how many people I ended up playing with and just coming out of nowhere. Did not sure, who just there's a guy that I had that's a teammate for half a year who was a really good player who's a GM of a minor league team and has been on a big league staff. I had no idea. I mean, I knew he'd been on a big league staff. I had no idea that he was in a minor league GM in Puerto Rico. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting when you wear 24 different uniforms across organizations, international baseball, and independent leagues. You end up finding that. That's a lot of unis and a lot of teammates.
All right. 2026 Astros Major League Coaching staff. Let's see how many Jeremy Booth have played with.
Well, there's already, I tell you this, there's somebody on there because I looked today after,
Yeah?
yeah, there's somebody on there who I played for and who I know pretty well. There's somebody on that staff.
That you played for?
Yeah, briefly, but I played for him. And I've introduced you to him too, I think. Tim Cousins.
Tim Cousins. Oh my gosh. Tim
Yeah.
Cousins.
Yeah, Tim Cousins.
You have
Cousins,
introduced me.
yeah, he was with the Orioles with Hyde,
Yep.
with Brandon Hyde. So,
What are your thoughts
um,
of the compilation that Dana and Joe and whoever else has helped put together here?
they seem to be getting of the people that I know. And some of the people I don't know, I have opinions on just from what I've heard, but they're only opinions on what I've heard. They're not firsthand experience. And I don't want to repeat something. People get benefit of the doubt until I'm able to have some kind of experience of watching what they're doing. I just think that's fair. Um, it's gross that we do that, but I think it's fair. And so when you have guys like Cousins is a good catching coach. He was an analytical mind back in 2000 and 2001 and 2002, and then he joined the Marlins. I think he was with Kansas City for a while. As a bullpen guy, or so he's bounced around a little bit as far as organizations, but he's good. He's smart. He's a little bigger than he was when I knew him before, but he's smart. Yes, Tim, I know. I can't wait to see it too. Now, as far as Victor Rodriguez, I think again you have guys that are preaching things the Astros didn't do well. You have guys that are going to preach blocking and receiving. That's cuz you're going to have guys that are different strategists. You're going to have hitting coaches like Victor Rodriguez and the guys that are there that are going to teach move the ball around the infield, play the game. As opposed to just trying to ambush and hit guys in non-traditional spots. You're going to see some creativity, but you're seeing Joe fill the gaps with people who are going to get back to teaching a little bit and game execution, as opposed to just roll the balls and bats out and play. And every organization goes through it. Every organization has times when they get to a place where they no longer need to instruct players at the big league level. It's just tightening. It's tighten this. Hey, your swing's that. The footwork's that. The lower half is whatever it is. But it's a mechanical tighten and a thought process change. The players they have now need to learn how to play. They just need to learn how to play at the big league level and take that next jump. This is the right staff. In theory, this is a much better staff for that.
Tim Cousins, I should have known that because when I saw the name, I was like, man, I know this name and and that he managed you or coached you
He's a catching coach. He was a catching
in the
coach.
Marlins.
No, no, no. He was in we ran across each other in 2001. 2001?
He was done playing in 2000.
Yeah, so 2001. Sounds right. And we were
I
only there
missed him.
for
He was in Harrisburg in 1999. I was not there yet.
I think he went to Kansas City like a year or two after that. So, um it was a very brief stop, but we spent some pretty good time together for a couple of weeks.
Should we expect a lot of action during the winter meetings, a flurry of deals, or will it be fairly quiet? What is
The
your
winter,
prediction?
so I was counseled in a very loving way by one of my mentors to be a little softer with my honesty. Um,
Recently, you were
yeah,
talked to?
I mean, it wasn't like it was a negative thing. It was just more like it was a compliment about content, is what it
Hmm.
was. But it was like, be a little softer with your, it wasn't, I can't do it. I thought about it, looked at myself in the mirror, asked myself some tough questions. I appreciate the advice. It's just, I'm just not somebody when you try to, some of the stuff that I've been through, it's coming. It's just the way it is, especially with where we are now and things that are ahead. I'm not going to just dial that back. I'm going to continue to be me. And I say that to say this, the winter meetings are exceptionally boring. They used to not be that way, and they used to be a lot of fun. But now, guys, teams will just sit in their suites and they'll have meetings with whoever they have meetings with, and not a whole lot happens. Um, they're exceptionally boring, and especially with some of the same questions facing the front offices every day to be asking the same questions again and again and again. Um, while I will go and I will go in and do what I need to do, the answer to that's other than seeing people I haven't seen for a few months off and on the field. No, I'm not. I don't think there's going to be any action at all. You might go down and have dinner. You might say, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" You might see some people do some press conferences. But I hate to say it, there's not a whole lot of action that goes on. You're waiting for the free agent shoe to drop or one trade, and you've already had your trade, right? Sonny Gray's a Red Sox. You already had your trade there. And you've had your one free agent signing in Dylan Cease to get off the board. But what else you got? I don't know. I get, for me, I'm gonna, we have our World Combine, which is international players at the same time, so I'll get a little bit of a break from in Orlando. But uh, that's yeah. I think it's going to be very slow again. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be slow. It's slow every year.
Mark Feinsand from MLB.com. Reaction to the deal on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most surprised. How surprised are you by this move, both in terms of the timing and the team/player? He says the timing is definitely a 10. It's rare to see the top free agents, especially those represented by Scott Boras, sign huge 9-figure deals in November. Then again, Blake Snell, another Boras client, signed his 5-year, $182 million with the deal with the Dodgers back on May 30th of last year. As for the team and player, I can't say I'm surprised. Toronto had to bring in at least one starter, with Chris Bassitt and Max Scherzer hitting the free agent market. Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber under control for only one more year. Cease not only gives the Blue Jays a very strong rotation, but he's now locked in at the top of that rotation for the next 7 seasons.
Yeah, he probably pushes Gosman to 2 and Bieber to 3. I mean, just on age and stuff and where he's at. But then again, I don't know that he's had to pitch on a winning club yet. And so it might be nice to be in that 3 spot behind him or split up Gosman and Bieber, who have both had to pitch in the postseason and the World Series. So either way, it makes sense to go get him. Now, what really shocked the plan is to go get Framber Valdez too. Now that'll shake things up because
You think the Blue Jays can do that?
I think the Blue Jays do what they want. I don't think that city, and we've talked about it during the World Series, I don't think that city is phased one bit as far as ownership, as far as spending money on players, bringing people in. They have a window right now to maximize. Yeah, why not? Right? Why not? There's no city, as much as every city is great in the postseason. They really are. There's no city as live as Toronto when they're winning. It just isn't. It doesn't. I don't care if it's hockey or basketball, or I mean, especially hockey, but hockey, basketball, or baseball. When they're winning, it's insanity, and they're so supportive of what they've got, um, that yeah, I mean, the owner's they got some time here, they got a window, right, and they need to go do it. The last time they won was the Joe Carter World Series, right, '93. That was the last one. So, it's been 30 plus years and they got to pitch away this time. I don't see them liking the way that tastes and goes down for the start of the off season. And yeah, go get Valdez, go get Bassett, go get something. Would not surprise me to watch him overload. Let's put
Would
it
it be
that way. Overload.
possible for Valdez to get a shorter deal, higher AAV? Because you can't tie up 2 guys 6-7 years at the same time, could you?
Why not?
Especially at their ages right now, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, Valdez for me at 32 is going to get 5 to 6 years. Okay. It's not a 7 or 8 year deal. C's is 29, 28, 28, 29. He signed out of high school. I remember Garrett Ball was the cross checker we have in Seattle screaming for Dylan Cease. What how old is he? 29?
I'm looking. He's 29. He
Yeah.
turns 30 on December 28th.
So those 2 years make a difference, right? He pitches next year at 30. Those 2 years make a difference. So, yeah, 7 years makes sense for him. So if extending the same theory, he's going to pitch his age 37 season, you would think in Toronto, that gives Valdez 5 to 6 years, right? Or 5 with an option at high AAV. So, yes, they could do that, especially if Gosman, who I believe is turning 35, is a candidate for another 2 year deal behind that, same type of window, right? And then you don't know what they're going to do with Bieber. So I can't see them not doing it, is what I'm saying. I can see them. Um, if they don't do it, it's because they get outbid somewhere else. But they should absolutely be in the market for that, even if it means paying some taxes for a year, because you don't know what Gosman and Bieber are going to do in age 35 season. And even still, they're 2 year candidates after that, right? 36 and 37. So they're not going to go get 5 or 6 more years. You got to anchor your rotation now.
This is an interesting question. Which highly rated starting pitcher free agent signs next?
Uh, well, with seized off the market, I think it's going to be somewhere towards the back end because everybody's going to be looking up. Valdez holds out for a while, but no one else behind that is going to get 30, right? So you're really looking at 8, 9, 10. Again, all shorter term deal guys as far as where they're going to land, and that gives you your middle tier market as well. So, um, yeah, and Justin Verlander's got a chance at the Hall of Fame. He's like maybe a Hall of Famer already. He's got a shot at it. He's going to want to go somewhere where they can win,
I think he's
right?
a Hall of Famer already, but
Yeah, me too. But you never know how these things go, right?
okay.
So I mean, if he's going to go somewhere he can win, you got to figure that Bassett's going to want to go somewhere he can win. He's also a re-sign candidate up there in Toronto. So those guys are going to come off the board sooner rather than later.
Feinstein is predicting Suarez would be the next starter to sign.
That's because he's three. If
As
I'm Ranger Suarez,
Imai may choose to wait until he gets closer to the end of his posting window, which arrives on January 2nd.
yeah, I'm Japanese player notwithstanding. I'm waiting for because he's a Dodger, right? They're Dodgers or West Coast guys, Sandy, whatever. They're staying out there. So I don't um I don't see uh I don't see Suarez having the benefit of signing right now. Just because they've got him as three, fine sand doesn't mean that he doesn't get a bigger deal than Cease did. You just don't know. So if I'm him, I'm left-handed. Cease is off the market. They're going to use him as a ceiling, right? And Valdez is still number one. But there's two lefties in the top five pitchers, and both of them have some significant longevity and track record. I'm not rushing to anything if I'm Ranger Suarez.
Last item on the agenda. Angels Anthony Rendon discussing contract buyout with Rendon expected to retire. This, according to Alden Gonzalez of ESPN. Of course, Anthony's deal, 7 years, 245 million, has 1 year left at 38 million remaining. And apparently, the two sides are negotiating or discussing a buyout.
38 million for one more year. He's played what, 150 games since he's been there? Maybe two, maybe in 5 years, 6 years. Been there. It was a long-term contract because he signed in 2020. He was an Angel. Remember, 19 he was uh in DC and they won. And
2021 to 2024, he finished each season with between 43 and 58 games.
that's 200 games, and he hasn't played in 25 at all, and he didn't play in 20 at all either.
I feel sad for Anthony.
I don't. I mean, the guy's got several hundred
Well,
million dollars and doesn't like baseball. How do you feel bad for him?
he was such a force, man. He was a force. And it just went sideways for him. And I can imagine when you are injured that much. I mean, here's a list: left knee contusion, left groin strain, left hamstring strain, right hip impingement, right wrist inflammation, right wrist surgery, left groin strain, left wrist contusion, left shin contusion, etc., etc., etc. And it's got to just wear on somebody when they just cannot stay healthy. And I'm guessing, I've never talked to Anthony about this, but I'm guessing that's probably where a lot of his frustration came from, was the fact that all these injuries kept piling up and piling up and piling up. And the game's not fun anymore when you can't perform at a level that you're used to performing at.
Anthony's what, 35 now? Turning 36? It was 2011 draft. I want to say he was 21, so he should be turning 36 now.
He's 35, going to be
Yeah.
turning, 35. He turned 35 in June, so he'll be 36 in
Yeah.
June.
Okay. So, he doesn't want to play anymore. He's still the highest report I wrote for an amateur player. Anthony Rendon at Rice was an absolute joke. It was unbelievable to watch. Um, and had he stayed healthy, I do agree. It's different if you're not healthy. But what I didn't know about Anthony at the time, what nobody knew, which I've learned since then, is that if he didn't love baseball then, he fell out of love with it pretty quick. And I think he liked the college environment. I'm not sure, he was a star at Rice. Rice was really good back then. He went into pro ball, moved pretty quickly, but he had some significant adversity the summer before he signed. Got hurt quite a bit to the point where they were talking about playing him at second base. I had another guy that I actually was a teammate of who reminds me at looking back in their career, and I'm interested when he retired. I want to say it was about the same age, and that's JD Drew. And JD Drew was a guy who never really reached his potential and was an absolute man on the field anyway, right? He just, I remember sitting with him in St. Paul, Minnesota, and somebody walks up to him, and his kid walks up and says, "Hey, man, you're a prospect." And JD just smiles and goes, "Yeah." Yeah. And all he wanted to do was hunt and fish and hang out, and he just he did baseball in his spare time. That's what he did. And I think Anthony turned into that. I think Anthony is a somebody who likes being home, wants to go on with his life, and baseball was in his spare time. Again, he's also getting paid a ton of money to sit on his butt if he's hurt constantly. And so I think you're right. The joy left. But when it comes to getting the most out of your ability, I'm not sure the fire was there. I think Anthony Rendon was a good baseball player because he was good at baseball, like really, really good at baseball, as opposed to a guy like Verlander who will never, ever, ever step away until it's over, right? Until it's absolutely positively over. I think Anthony has been looking for a way out ever since he signed his contract in Anaheim. That's what he
JD
wants.
Drew, interesting comparison because their careers are very similar. Very similar. When you look at JD Drew playing 14 years,
Yep.
Anthony Rendon has 12 years, but each player, one All-Star. Anthony Rendon, 1,200 hits. JD, 1,400 hits. A WAR of Baseball Reference 34.2 for Anthony Rendon, and you're in the 40s for JD Drew. I think it's like 43. What is it? 44.9. So very, very similar guys in terms of the numbers when you look back in totality. So good one, Jeremy. Good one.
It's not my first day, Jason.
It is not. It is not. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this extra bases. Oh, we have one more thing.
While you have that up, how many home runs did JD hit?
How many home runs did JD Drew hit?
I'm
How
gonna
many
say
do you
280.
think, Jeremy?
280.
242.
And Anthony's somewhere in the same ballpark, right? Maybe a little less.
Anthony Rendon, a lot less, 158.
Yeah, that's injuries. Okay.
Guess how
Curious.
many hits Anthony Rendon has for his career?
1,200.
Oh, that's right. I already told you.
Yeah,
Oops.
got less than two.
All
Yep.
right, everybody. You can tell that we're closing in on a holiday. It was a little all over the place in this one, but we do our best. Jeremy, I'm sure I'll talk to you on Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there who watches Extra
Eat your
Bases.
turkey.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.